Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Play Cities Skylines and Modded Series. This is the River Run map and we're playing on Nezodam City. Welcome to episode 54, and as promised we're going to work on the right hand side of this interchange. So a little backstory on this interchange. If you've seen one of my earlier episodes, this is the area that I spend a lot of time with. I go back and forth here trying to fix, remove the hot dog abouts or add different curly interchanges just to replace this one because I don't know, for some reason I dislike the design, even though I try to make this the most simple part of this city just to so that I can, if ever the city becomes more than 3 tiles, I can remember which tile was the very first one I made, which it's not so hard to tell. This is the area that I learned from a lot. Especially going forward with high density areas. So what I'm doing here is making a perfect curve circle, or as perfect as I can be. So what you do is make a cross section, and each fourth of a area you make a curve that's equidistant from the next one. So, and then you press page down with the lowest stepping, so you can step down each time that you make a curve. This is particularly useful if you want to go underneath a highway to meet possibly a collector road, so you can transition alright, and that was the idea here. But here I realized I looped the way into the highway with the way out of the highway and no way to transition into the other side. So this looks like a big traffic trap, and I eventually removed the whole thing and try to fix it up. This is one of the more challenging things to do in the game, is in the traffic management aspect of things. I believe is making a good functional interchange. And after all the time that I've played this game, even though it's always been one speed and I took large breaks, this was always the hardest thing for me to figure out. Even though, obviously when you're playing this, you want to think about where the highway has to go, right? You want to give your services, your industrial areas priority, and maybe your commercial areas too. So you'd want to give them unfettered access to the highway. And another thing is like so services, like you want the garbage trucks near the highway so that they can bring garbage out of the city, or you want them to be able to traverse to different parts of the city to use the highway. Highways is the road is obviously the roads that are the fastest, so you don't want them to be places where there's a lot of gridlock. You want it to flow freely. So we talked about this area before. I had removed this pathway, four-way road, this collector road. I had removed it because it looked like it was redundant. I had two parts of it on the north and south end, so I brought it back. Now I'm making the curve here. I always try to make something aesthetically pleasing because especially that part of the city on the top part always bugged me. Never fixed it though. So when I first started building the city, I curved this towards to reach the river, but it was always kind of crooked. So I left it like that for a number of episodes. And then when it took the time to try to correct it, it ended up looking wonky. Here I am trying to make it look smoother right there. It still looks kind of crooked, but well. So I finally fixed that path that a viewer said it was out of place. Now it's got a purpose right there. So I was trying to figure out whether or not I should make this part of the map accessible to the highway, but it kind of looks ugly, so I didn't really keep that, and it caused a lot of traffic. So this is one of the instances where I plan as I go, not necessarily the best strategy, but eventually I do want to make things more streamlined, especially like this. You try to place stock interchanges so to save time. Interchanges, as you can see, takes a long time for me to make from scratch. I was thinking about putting something from the stock game to maybe help me out a little bit, but they're definitely too large for this tight space that I have here, so I started to make my own. Here I am drawing the outline for this intersection. This or the beginning of an interchange. Four lanes going up and down, other north-south direction. And then there's one going east to west. So you want one going in each direction. I think I was trying to make a double trumpet interchange again, but I sort of forgot how that went. And those are kind of large to make. I think I might have to revisit this. So here I am. Here I forget how to make that perfect curve, even though I understand the concept of it. When I start doing it and not having played for like 6 months, I thought it would be like riding a bike, but I forget how it's supposed to go, even though I'm logically saying in my head I have to make these points equidistant from each other, and then eventually I can't figure it out. I should have extended that line that's on the bottom and made a perpendicular cross section to be able to make the correct measurements. But you know, when you think you got something, you just go with it. I think this is what I did. So it made my east to west roads, or the bottom part, kind of too close together. Now I don't have a way to pass through traffic, and I think I realized it here, and I figured I'd probably join the other ends some other way. So the reason why it's called a trumpet interchange is because there is a slider end of the trumpet. This is the part that I'm making. So each side goes in one direction to meet where it began. So that's the slider part goes in the opposite direction. And it usually links from the highway down into a collector road. I think I kind of messed this one up right here. So yeah, this is the kind of thing. I wish my computer was good enough so that I could talk during the playthrough. Right now you're hearing me after the fact, watching what I did, witnessing a mistake. I don't know if you guys do that too. For me, it was a necessity to do the, I couldn't really avoid not doing the voiceover after making the video because my processing power isn't that great. So it is what it is. Anyway, there's this thing, when you're making roads that meet together, sometimes you aren't able to make them fit even though it seems like there's enough space. So what I do is I decrease the size, or I go one step down of the road size, road width, and then attach it with the regular size. And sometimes you find that you're able to upgrade the road to the size that you want the other road by just deleting the line and then adding it again. So this is what I'm talking about here. It looks kind of weird, so especially with the elevation changes. So what you can do is what I did was delete and re-add it again. So this part I realize doesn't align, so I delete more of the road. By the way, if you're the kind of person who's saying you're losing a lot of money making these adjustments and not pausing the game, you are right. I lost about 1.5 million bucks in the game because there was no traffic to transport the goods. So obviously, if you were playing this game on the kind of person who doesn't pause the game, you actually do lose money with regards to time. So in retrospect, in real life, that kind of thing kind of happens. If you take too long doing this kind of project, you lose your gains. So when you make a timeline or when you set a goal, sometimes you need to set a time in order to make it. Anyway, this is all the time that we have. I'll probably fix this again in the next episode, but thank you guys for joining. If you liked, like, comment, or subscribe, ding that bell. I'll see you in 3 days. This is John Nezodam signing out. Take care, stay safe, and remember, you are essential.